Yes, hello and welcome back, T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, long time no video, or rather, yeah, some AI experiments from my part, but anyway, yes, this is the second video I've done in a few weeks time, where I actually did a bit of a getting back into the pool before the diving season starts for 2026. Oh my god, has it been so long already. The time just flies by, it seems. But anyway, yes, it is the end of February 2026, so time to get into the pool and try to dust off some of the skills when it comes to diving. Yes, I am now diving in my red Earth suit, red Q dry suit that has a little bit of a leak issue. That's one of the reasons why I used it in the pool, which is actually quite warm. The water is quite warm in this pool, actually. Fyrishov in Uppsala. Yeah, it is from the groin area. We did a quick 5-minute dive. This first part is from that quick 5-minute dive. Then I just went up and took off the dry suit to just have a look at the clothes I had underneath to see where the leakage would come from, and it turns out it's from the unfortunately from the groin area. But anyway, I might take it in for service. It already has a new chain, care of a bloke in the dive club. But anyway, yeah, here I'm just testing out a digital little Canon camera, handheld, compact camera, in an Ike housing and a sea&sea. I think it's the YS27 flash. This is one of those flashes that are supposed to be able to be used without a sync cord in between, but I didn't have that much luck with it. It can be used with a optical sync cord as well, so that might be a project for another dive. But anyway, yeah, just have a look at the video so far. I'm using an Insta360 camera. I think it's the X3 version. Yes, it's actually my dive buddy who is photographing me right now that did the new dry suit chain on my dry suit, and he's also an instructor in the club, so I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description below, so give him some love as well for his diving videos. They're much more interesting than mine. Yeah, and now I just looked at my dive computer and saw that the 5 minutes were up, so we would go up, and I'll just check and see where the aforementioned leak in my dry suit comes from. It's just to see where I'm not dry underneath when I took it off. So yeah. Yes, it's always fun to have other like-minded people also trying to dust off some of their techniques and so on in the pool. So yeah, these were a couple other guys that we're gonna do a bit of training and some exercises in the pool along with us that are also in the dive club. And for me and my dive buddy during this pool time it was fun because we're both into underwater photography. It was a nice way to have some other interesting subjects to be able to photograph, and also for me to video with the Insta360. The good thing is I'm using my sea&sea Motor Marine, was it MX10 I believe. I just mounted the Insta360 X3 on a flash bracket on the sea&sea, and it is almost completely neutrally buoyant, the camera itself, so when I put the Insta on it, it actually became a slightly negative. But all in all, it was very fun to be able to use this camera. I'm planning to use it more in the future, but it's a bit of a learning curve with the software that is used with it. So yeah, there might be a little bit of odd camera angles throughout this video, but it's all a learning process and I am having fun with it, and I think that's the main point. Also, some style points for the people who might know what this music comes from. Please put it in the comments section below. Yeah, once an instructor, always an instructor, right? Well, I have actually gone over to diving a long hose configuration. I know I might get some flack for it, but for me it actually is a comfort thing. But I actually was a bit surprised that I did this in such a instinctual manner, at least in my mind. And I know all of you also. Yeah, I was already at the bottom on my fin tips just to try to get some, what is it called, some buoyancy exercises, when my former instructor, now dive partner, just pinched my arm and signaled out of air. I know that sharing air with the body is one of those fundamental skills that you should be able to execute in your sleep, but yeah, when I did my training I was in a standard configuration and not in a long hose configuration. So this was the first time that I actually did the practice with someone, and also I didn't know that I was gonna do the practice technique. So yeah, all in all it was a bit comforting that I had it down, at least to a decent level. Other things I'm also constantly working of improving is also trim and propulsion in my case, and also a bit of buoyancy control for photography to have that, what is it called, photo buoyancy control. So yeah, we're all constantly learning and trying to become better at this sport. So yeah, it is all good and fun to be able to practice techniques in a safe environment should you ever need to use them in a real situation. Ah yes, so now we are going towards the end of this pool dive session here at Fyrishov, Uppsala, Sweden. So yeah, we had a little bit of a good time here today, or this evening I should say, when we trained a couple of techniques and one surprise technique in my case, and I hope I get some photos from it. I was actually in the camera, I was using Photopan 400 Action black and white film. I know that might not be the main choice for underwater photographer, but since we're just in the pool, it's well lit and so on, I can just shoot it at box speed, but I know that will be a little bit underexposed in normal cases, so I am planning to develop it as if it were a 800 speed film. In other words, I am gonna overdevelop it, just as a piece of photography fun and experimentation. So take care from now on and enjoy the rest of the video.